I'll click record right now. Okay, so hello everyone. Like we said in the little mini presentation, we'll be talking about the partnerships in general that we've made with organizations outside of Rotary with the Interact Club. We'll also be going through a workshop that you can go through with your Interact clubs on how they can form partnerships.
Okay.
And that's something that you can bring back. We find that that's quite important to have youth voices when you're forming these partnerships. And then if there's time at the end, we'll also be talking about how our club efficiently runs our meetings, which is something John has been pioneering. So I will share my screen. Sorry, I have a few different things open. Okay. So, oh no, okay, my camera isn't working. Let's see. Okay, it'll turn on in a second. So I go to Dana Hills High School, and the majority of our partnerships are through city, community, and nonprofit alliances. And throughout this presentation, if you have a question, please interject. We'll also be asking you guys questions throughout, and John will be taking notes so that we can report back to the team. So let's see. So one of the main partnerships that we have within our club is within our city. So we do a ton of different community events with them. Do any of you perchance partner with your city, the Interact Club? Kind of.
Yes.
So what sort of events are you doing through your partnership?
We are partnering with the city on skate park, and also we built it actually with the city, and have been expanding that park.
Wow, that's fascinating. Is the Interact Club a part of that?
Yes, but our main Rotary Club is the main part.
Yes. Cool. Wow, I've never heard of something like that.
What city is that?
Oh, sorry, Nelson, BC, British Columbia.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm so sorry, I don't know how to say your first name. Is it Eowyn?
Eowyn.
Eowyn. What sort of, you said you were sort of having a partnership. What does that look like for you?
Well, directly with the Interact Club, they will often come to different events and do something like face painting, or at a Christmas parade, they sell hot chocolate and that type of thing. So it's generally just big events that we have. We have a Pirates Day, and they come out and help with that, and yeah, that type of thing.
Okay. Perfect. Anyone else? John?
Well, yes, I'm in a little town called Leavenworth, Washington. It's a Bavarian themed town, and our Interact Club has partnered with the city in a few different ways. The Rotary Club installed a children's park, and the Interact Club maintains that a couple of times a year, just cleans it up and rakes bark, so on. There's a few other sites in town that we've participated with the city in, but other organizations as well. We also have a skate park that was installed by the local Rotary Club, and some events take place where the interactors are participating in the skate, in a pump track and a skate park. So another thing is that the city has allowed us to plant pollinator plants, which is an emphasis of our district governor. And our kids have planted bulbs this last fall. We're excited to see them come up and create some beautiful purple crocuses around the community and in the city area, in the city-owned properties. So that's a connection we have that could really grow, but that's one that we've at least cracked the ice on.
Wow. So you guys already have some great partnerships with your city. And you guys both have, Marilyn and John, the skate park thing. I think that's so fascinating. So, if you ever want to exchange, we'll probably have time if you want to exchange ideas on that. But for now, we'll move on to some of the things that we have. Like you guys were saying, we do similar events. Like we have concerts in the park for our city. And we don't run the concerts in the park, but we attend them as interactors and promote upcoming events. So here, if this was a summer concert in the park, but we were promoting a Christmas event. And this was the Christmas event we were promoting, where we attended our local, how would you call this, John? It was like a fair in a sense.
Yeah, just a local market, vendors for Christmas, displaying their goodies. We actually used this event as a fundraiser for the Interact Club. They set up a booth and collected donations for charitable organizations that we wanted to give to. So we were actually using this as a fundraiser, and the money that we got was through taking photos that you could put in a virtual background. And if anybody was interested in that particular vendor or software, I can pass that along to you. But the idea was that somebody would come up, we'd take a picture of them, they choose their Christmas background. It's amazing how these pictures come out looking so good. So we did fairly well, taking Christmas pictures of people with this virtual background. You can see in the lower right-hand corner, these are the 6 backgrounds that they could choose from: snow background, different backgrounds, tree background, and it just worked pretty well for us as a fundraiser.
Yeah, it was really great. Let's see the next one. We also, in the past, have worked at our local car show or volunteered at our local car show. This is a super fun event for all the interactors because we get to see all the really awesome cars. Most of the time, we're helping direct traffic and like cleaning up because it does get quite messy. And then this was something we helped with this year. We have a local community center that is a part of the city organization, and they do a Halloween bash sort of event. So we were helping prepare candy and decorate the community center. So special events are super fun as well. Do you have anything to add here, John?
No, that's good.
Okay. And I believe, like Brian mentioned in his speech, we do partner with parades as well. We walked in our local parade actually like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we hold the turtle every year. It's really fun, and it's a way to get visibility for what we do, and tons of fun kids. Have any of you guys done a parade sort of event?
I have not, but it's such a good idea. We have a number of festivals that take place in our town, and I don't know why it hasn't crossed my mind that we could have a very active presence with our Interact Club in the parade that we have in the Autumn Leaf Parade and a number of the other festivals that happen all year long in this tourist community.
Exactly. Eowyn, were you gonna add something? Sorry, I couldn't tell.
No, I'm sorry. No, I've got my grandsons live with me, so I have I'm coming in asking questions.
Okay. And John, where do we get this balloon? Not you, John. John Coffman.
What did you ask, Sophie? I'm sorry.
This balloon, is this something that's from the city?
Well, this is through a partnership with the city.
Okay.
Because of our alliance with the city, and we've got and have had such a strong relationship over the years, they come to us every year and ask if we're going to continue to do this. The city pays for the balloon, and it's not cheap, as you can imagine, but it's such a great partnership. They provide the balloon, we just provide the students to help carry the balloon. Takes about 20 to 24 of our members to take this, and it's a great thing unless it's a windy day.
Definitely.
I have a question about where you draw the line kind of between working with city and working with the Chamber of Commerce, because our chamber is extremely active and maybe it offers more opportunities for our Interact kids to be involved than even our city.
You know, and that's a great point. I don't think it's an either or. For us, our chamber is not as involved as it sounds like yours is. Over the years, we've had a few opportunities to engage with them on things, but for the most part, no, it's just not an avenue that's worked well for us.
I see.
Although, as you're saying, I know it's a great avenue in other cities.
Great.
So we do partner with another city as well, the city of Laguna Niguel, which is where a lot of our members live. So this is just an example, kind of like you were saying, John. We could have multiple different partnerships at the same time, as long as we are capable of maintaining them in a way that's effective. So here we have the Laguna Niguel Holiday Parade from a few years ago. Super fun event. And something we would like to mention is at all of these city events or at any of our partnerships, we try to wear our like Interact t-shirts, but sometimes, you know, this is like an event that we're working at, so sometimes we have to wear the shirts that they provide. But whenever we can wear our Interact shirts, it's great because it's free like publicity and visibility at the same time. Do you guys have t-shirts for your Interact clubs?
Yes, we do. And we need to order some more, but yes, we do have t-shirts, and that's funded by the money that the club has been raising. So our Rotary Club initially got it started, and then it's been sustained by the monies that the Interact Club has raised as well.
That's fantastic. I believe, John, correct me if I'm wrong, our shirts are actually funded by the city because of our partnership with them.
Yes, they are. Boy, that's been so great for us. We have new members obviously coming in every year, and the city, we've got an arrangement with a local t-shirt company that gives us a pretty good deal, and the city pays for our t-shirts every year, so it really is a big expense off of our backs from either Rotary or the Interact Club. So it's something to negotiate with your liaison with your organizations. It might be an opportunity for you.
Yes, and then here's us at another Laguna Niguel event that's also in cooperation with the military. So you could see this as like a tri-partnership, city, Interact, and supporting the military as well.
Yeah, and let me just add on that. This is a opportunity that came to us from an interactor who transferred to our club, 12 years ago from Hawaii, and they had a great fundraising military support project there, which was standing in front of Walmart and passing out little flyers on what was needed to shoppers as they went in, and to collect toys for the kids on the military base close to us. And so we've been doing this every year for 12 years or so. We have a partnership with the Walmart here. Obviously, they have to be on board with this, but we just stand out in front, pass out flyers to shoppers going in, and boy, we collect a ton of toys and goodies to take down to Camp Pendleton at Christmas time for events they have with the kids. So here's another opportunity to work with local businesses as well as a military organization for some good stuff.
Definitely. And we also do have partnerships with our Rotary Club. The two main events that we do with our Rotary Club, and actually these are also partnerships with the city, are our senior Thanksgiving luncheon and the pancake breakfast. So this is one of our favorite events and one of our largest events, where we are at our local community center, which is the partnership with the city, and we're serving senior citizens delicious Thanksgiving food. So it's a really fun event for all of us. And actually this year, something we've really started ramping up is, you can see in the upper right hand picture, there are kids from another Interact club as well. So for events where we need a lot of volunteers, it's our club and another club another Interact club at a different school, and it's really creating a lot of inter-club collaboration, and it's quite fun actually to see those kids at different events. Do you have any questions about this one? Okay, great. And then a similar thing here, our local pancake breakfast, which we'll be doing very soon for Easter. And you can see it's just a massive community draw and a great time. I'm gonna speed up a little bit if that's okay, John.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we also have multiple nonprofit alliances, and these are people who are often coming to us asking for help or us reaching out to them. So what sort of alliances do you guys have with nonprofits, if you do have some?
We actually have an alliance with the Boys and Girls Club here now, opening up a communication hub for the youth. That's been worked on. One of our members has been quite involved with that.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
We have a group called MEND. It stands for Meeting Every Need with Dignity. And it's a fairly large nonprofit group that provides counseling and a clothing shop and a food cupboard. And so Interact partners with them to do a number of different things as they request. And I think that we could really strengthen that relationship so that they're actually partnering with us, perhaps combining some of the thoughts of providing t-shirts or something else. It's been pretty much a one-way service, and the partnership, as I understand it, would be more reciprocal, and that's what I'd be looking for.
Definitely. Marilyn, does your club have any partnerships like this?
No, I can't think of any.
Okay. So these are just a few examples of ours. We've partnered with the military and our local family assistance ministries. This is our local food bank, and our partnership with them has grown significantly since COVID. We're doing like working in their workshop. We're working in like their annual food walk, like hunger walks. We've done that a few times now. It's really a great time. And we also have a large environmental focus. So we partner with our local Stand Up to Trash is the organization. We do a lot of beach cleanups, and that is also a great time as well. Many of these events are regular and ongoing, and so students sort of have an expectation of when they should happen, which is great for creating like those stronger relationships and recurrent like events happening over and over. Yeah, Marilyn.
Okay, so here's one actually our mentor told me about. They some of the students baked bread and then brought it down to our local food center.
Okay.
And we also do highway cleanups.
That's fantastic. That's another way to partner, is to do something like you said, baking bread that's not necessarily at the location, and then to donate. Just making sure that they accept those donations beforehand. And we also do have an alliance with our local Boys and Girls Club. This is just a fun event that we do called Holiday Homework. That, John, I don't believe we run this, but we support them, correct?
Right. The Boys and Girls Club runs this, and obviously, and our Rotary Club and Interact are two of the big volunteer sources for this event for them.
Yeah. And then we also partner with Shea Therapeutic Riding Center, which has like not animal therapy. It's like they're using horses to have therapy for like special needs and disabled children, which is really, really great. So we actually donate to them with our fundraising, the money that we create or collect, and we get to also see their horses. It's very nice. John,
yeah, I'll add one thing on that. I do know that the San Juan Interact Club also has a relationship with the Shea Therapeutic Center. We're mostly, for our Interact Club, touring the event, getting to know them, and donating to them through our fundraising. The San Juan Club, they provide volunteers, up to 30 kids that work on weekends to help walk around with the horses, to help groom the horses or whatever. So there's more than one Interact Club involved with this particular organization. If you're ever down here in our area, go by here and get a tour. They perform miracles at this place. It's just absolutely incredible.
I agree. And then, John, do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, this is a brand new one for us. It's an international association. I don't know if your city has a sister cities organization. There is. It's called Sister Cities International Association. Dana Point has an official alliance with them now, and they have formed sister cities in Sorrento, Italy, and Thessalonica, Greece. And our Interact Club serves as a student board for this organization in our area. We've got 8 students that serve as on their student board, and we're starting something new with them as a virtual exchange program with high school students from Sorrento and Thessalonica, in which these students will hook up one-on-one with a high school student in one of these other cities and become pen pals, virtual pen pals, if you will, exchanging ideas, exchanging cultural, exchanging just becoming friends virtually. Down the road, this could ultimately lead to us going over there or them coming over here to visit the various locations. This is one that we're really excited about. There are a lot of other opportunities for the kids with this organization, like art competitions, like leadership conferences and other things. But this is new for us that we're really excited to get started in. It's something you might look at to see if there are international organizations in your area that would provide a similar type of alliance. So, and we don't have a slide on this, but I'll just mention it. We, as our Rotary Club, while not yet officially with Interact, we're sponsoring a 1,000 Smiles organization at a different high school, which is, as you know, 1,000 Smiles is an international Rotary initiative. And through this organization and our support with the local dentists, those that go down there, they take a trip to Mexico 2 or 3 times a year and assist with the 1,000 Smiles initiative in our border cities. So that's another opportunity to take a look at.
Okay, that is that. Let me escape that. Let me stop sharing for a second. Do any of you have questions about that, or really tell us, like, is there anything that you want more from this? If not, we'll go on to the little workshop thing I made that you should run, or that you can run through on how to form partnerships with your Interact Club. Or do you have any like specific problems that you'd like us to address?
I think for me, as I've listed these things on paper and listened to the conversation, that sustainability is my largest concern. Our club has fluctuated. Of course, it was fairly large before the pandemic. Then it was almost non-existent, but has now had a slight revival, and we have about 8 kids that are constantly involved in it now. Had we built these long-term relationships for some major activities from our larger group before, that we wouldn't be able to sustain. We don't want to have a bad reflection from these partners towards Interact because we can't supply the support that we've had in the past. So I imagine, as I'm listening to this, that it's real important not to begin something that we're not sure that we can maintain the commitment to. Have you run into situations like this?
Certainly. John, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, I will. Early in our Interact life down here, we had that quite a bit. There's no right answer to how this will work. I can tell you what has worked for us. Maybe 6-7 years ago, we started serving pizza at all of our Interact Club meetings. And that has had a major impact on the attendance at the meetings. We've got about 150 kids on our roster, regularly have 70 or 80 in our meetings. So for the last 6-7 years, so even during COVID, we met on Zoom. Sustainability was not really an issue for us. It's actually been a little the opposite. We've had so many kids at times, we needed more projects to make sure there was something for them to do. Pizza is not necessarily the answer for everyone. All I can tell you is that has worked well for us. Our Rotary Club puts that in our youth service budget. So it's a major expense for us. $2,000, $2,500 a year for pizza. San Juan also does that. They provide pizza at all of their meetings. And I would say the majority of the Interact clubs, at least in our district, are now doing that. Clearly, many of the kids only come for the pizza, but if we get into the last portion, Sophie will show you, we always tell them at the first, come for the pizza, stay for the service, and stay till the end of the meeting. And we get a lot of kids that do come for the pizza, but then get committed to the service. So it gets them in the door, and a great many of them stay for that. So that's one thought.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, and to add on, sorry, Marilyn, to add on to what John was saying, certainly like that fluctuating number of people is an issue, and I agree, like that could potentially reflect badly upon you if, like, say, like, so one year you're like, oh, we have so many volunteers, and then the next year they expect that and you can't provide that. Like I said, like I haven't had to deal with that, fortunately, because John has always done a great job of having a ton of kids in our club. But we have like a ton of partnerships, and maybe you want to focus on like maintaining less of those partnerships, but maintaining them very consistently and having more consistent engagement and events with them, rather than like a ton where you're more scattered and then building over time. But like John said, there's no right answer.
Great.
Marilyn,
you had a question?
Well, I was just going to share with you I'm youth chair, and this is my first year, although I used to be youth chair in the past. And we are planning a youth leadership day on April 17th. And we have 2 of our Interact students actively involved with the planning of that day. And our goal is to have 30 students at this youth leadership day. And we have lined up 4 incredible speakers. And not only do we look for people who have made amazing impact on their community and the world, but who are young themselves. And our youngest speaker is 19.
wow, that's fantastic. We recently had some young speakers at one of our conferences as well. So definitely bringing young people to speak to young people is inspiring.
Marilyn, are these all Interact kids that are going to be coming to your leadership day?
No, it's open to all the high schools in our district. And we're hoping to have representatives from every high school.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic. Okay, well, I'll move on to the little workshop I created. If you have any feedback for me, that would be fantastic. I actually created this for one of our conferences very recently, and that was the first time we ran it. So I will share my screen and get to here. So essentially it's a document, and we put the Interact students, there were about 30 of them, we put them into small groups. But you could run this with just your club, like as a whole, but you could do smaller groups as well. And I really highly encourage that you would do this with your Interact Club, because their voices and what they want to partner with is also a massive factor of their attendance and their willingness to participate in service. So we shared this document with all the students and they were typing on this. You could also do this printed as well, and they could be writing on this if you wanted to. So the first step we told them was to identify a general cause that they want to support through their partnership. And we provided some examples like healthcare access, hunger, environment, etc. Or potentially one of Rotary's 7 areas of focus. And the link was there as well. And we gave them around 5 minutes to discuss. And then they had to choose a general topic and say why they chose it. So some students chose mental health because they thought, like, at our school in particular, that's a massive issue that needs to be addressed and is not being addressed adequately. Or some people chose like homelessness. It was really interesting to see what students chose. And by the way, I'm going to share this document with you, if you were wondering. And, oh, I forgot to mention, before we started this, we talked about the importance of partnerships, which I'm sure you're all well aware of, like creating more impact and working with people who are well established in what they do. Do you have any questions or comments on step 1? Okay. So step 2 is to research nonprofits, cities, and organizations within, I said our area, but you could put your own area in there. Just make sure it's relatively local. And so research the nonprofits that address the issue in some way. So let's say you chose like ocean conservation or environmentalism as your general issue. A local nonprofit that we have is Surfrider. So we put a link to their website and just briefly describe what they do is ocean protection and beach cleanups. And we gave them like a tip for what to search for because some students aren't sure how to find that stuff. So you could see nonprofits and search on environmentalism in Orange County. That's where we live. So we suggested that the students write down a few of those nonprofits, link to their website, Instagram, etc., and give a brief description of what they do. And then step 3 is to decide which organization that they want to contact and to write their email or contact information. This could be a phone. Sometimes the organizations don't have an email that they give out, but they do have like a chat box on their website. So you could put a link to that chat box. And we said, like, no, we're going to start by practicing, by reaching out to one organization. But you could reach out to more if you would like. We'll just practice with one. So they choose which organization they're going to pick. They deliberate, like, why do they want to pick that organization? Maybe it has a better connection or reputation within their community. Maybe that organization is more willing to accept youth support. There are tons of different reasons why you would choose one over another. And then step 4 is for the students to write a cold email or some other form of contact, like a little script they're going to read on the phone to contact them. So a lot of students don't know what a cold email is, so we gave them a little template of what they should include, which is right here in this box. So this is just a first draft, but we really suggest that the students write it because that's such an important skill. They're going to have to write cold emails so many other times in their life. So having them write it first, and then you as the adult who probably has some experience with this, giving them feedback about, like, maybe they didn't really explain what Interact is well enough. So you tell them, like, maybe you should include more specifics on this. So they write their cold email down here. And we also put a note about cold emails that oftentimes people don't respond. That's why it's a cold email. So persistence is key. And if one organization doesn't want to partner with you, another very well might. So if you have any tips, comments. I'm very open to constructive criticism regarding this document. First of all,
one thing I might suggest on that cold email
yeah,
is if you have notable sponsors or people that they might recognize by name that would endorse what you're doing, it might be helpful to get a response from them.
definitely. Or like a connection, a previously established connection.
Right.
I agree. Oh, sorry, my camera keeps going out. Do you think that this would be beneficial for your organization or your clubs? Do you think this would be like a workshop that would actually work well or no?
Well, I think it would work for our local club. It gives them a format that they can use and modify.
Okay.
Yeah, in the fall when our club forms, or it's formed before, but when the new people get in, we actually have a training session with them on leadership. And some of our members contribute to that. And I think this would be something really good to use to show them.
Okay.
Very good.
Glad to hear that. Thank you. Well, I'm going to share this document with you. I'll put it in the chat. Please feel free to share this document with anyone. There's no like trademarks or anything on here. I'll just write that. I'll just put my name on here. It'll be listed as a viewer, so you won't be able to directly edit the document, but feel free to make a copy and edit it however you would like. So, I will. John, do you know when we're ending?
I think he said 12:10, so I would like to spend a few minutes just because I think it's so important about running an efficient meeting and the sort of epiphany we had this year in how to do that. So I'd like to share that if we can.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if you guys are ready to move on, then I think, John, we're good.
Anybody else that have anything else on the partnership issues you want to talk about? Okay.
I don't know. I've never done anything like that, official like that, but I would think there'd be more yeses than nos.
Oh yeah, for a cold email, hopefully, especially since these organizations are usually very community oriented and looking for these partnerships as well.
Yeah, they like us are looking for membership.
Definitely. Okay, I think we're ready, John.
Okay. Do you have it on your? Do you want me to share my screen, or are you going to show it on yours, Sophie?
I have it, but if you want to share it so you can control it, that'd be good.
All right, let me get it up here. Okay, just 1 second. All right, I'm going to share the screen. And view. This is something that if you've been in Interact meetings and attend all the meetings, boy, it's always a challenge, especially if you've got a lot of kids in the room. One thing we moved to this year, and of course you've got to have the ability to have this projected with the teacher in the room you're in to be able to project it up on the screen. But we have gone exclusively to using QR codes for everything we do. Earlier in the year, we'll have everybody who comes into the meeting pull out their phone, scan the QR code, and fill in the information, and it makes it so much easier to gather data on the kids. This QR code, as with all of them, takes you to a Google form that, and Sophie, in a few minutes, maybe you can just show them one of the Google forms. Takes you to a Google form, very simple, lets them fill in the information. After we feel we've pretty well got everybody who's going to be coming, we switch over and we don't ask them to sign in every meeting, only if it's their first meeting and if they're not getting any of our emails. We do say, come for the pizza, stay for the service. Down here at the bottom in red is, at least on the down here in our area, a pretty universal app that most schools use as a messaging app. For us, it's called Remind. You probably have one in your school that all the students use. You can sign up as a club, and so you can communicate via text to all of your members that are signed up via whatever app you're using. The only downside to this is we still only have 70% of the kids of our members signed up. So it's not, we just can't use it as a 100% communication device, but it's still helpful. For projects, this is where it's really been important. Swallows Day Parade coming up next Saturday, we give them a QR code, they sign in, and we get an immediate list of the kids that have signed in. Before, in a meeting, especially if you've got a lot of kids in there, you're passing around sheets, having them write their name in on the sheets, collecting them afterwards, taking the sheets home and transcribing those sign-ins to another control document. And this just gets them all captured on a Google document right away. So we had that. We had another project. We're doing something on sister cities, like I said, with the Pen Pals, an art competition that they can be involved in. And then we tell them other stuff that's going on during the year. So this has so greatly facilitated capturing the activities that their kids involved in. I think everybody should think about using something like that if you've got the projection facilities in the room. So any questions on that?
It's beyond my technology skills, but I have people.
Definitely. We're very grateful that John Coffman is very tech oriented, but it is not incredibly difficult to learn. Hopefully. We'll just show the one second. I'm trying to pull up one of our actual forms that you can fill out to sign up to volunteer, so we can show you. Do you guys have access to a projector or somewhere where you could show QR codes?
Yes.
Well, and an alternative to having it on the screen is to print out several copies and have them stationed in various parts of your room. So that, and tell the kids that when you're in the room, they just go by and raise their phone, take a quick snapshot of the printed document there if you need to do that in lieu of projecting something on the screen. That works well also.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I'm going to share my screen right now. The software we use to create the forms is just Google Forms. It's very simple, easy. I'm sure you can look up a YouTube video on how to make them. So we have a few different clubs participating in this. So we ask what high school, name, email, cell phone number, and there are a few different locations to volunteer at this event. You can add pictures if you want, but you really don't have to get that fancy. So once we do this, once we make the Google form, the website, and I'll put this in the chat so you can just look at that if you want to later. The software we use to create our QR codes, at least, so one that is free is called Canva. But John, what do you use?
QR Monkey.
QR Monkey.
Believe it or not.
If
yeah, just Google QR Monkey and it'll immediately create a free QR code for you.
So, oh, sorry, my camera is weird.
Yeah, and then Sophie, I want to switch over and share my screen on
Yeah,
one
go
of these.
ahead.
Okay. This one. Okay, when you're the creator and you're gathering all the data, this is what you see after everyone has submitted their names. This is a similar form to the one Sophie just showed you, but up the top, you can see the question. And then for this particular project, we had 13 kids that have signed up. So their names are all shown down here. You can scroll through the names. Then you can go over and look at the individual responses for each student that signed up. Here's the name of one, their email, cell phone information, and whatever other box you've asked them to collect. So if you're the creator of this farm, then this is where you get all of the information for the students that have signed up. So, and the farms, they really are quite easy to create. Once you've done one or two, you can create one of these farms in less than 5 minutes. So, and let me just go back to that. I'll show you one thing about that farm. Once you've created it, up at the top, it'll be a note up here that says send. You can hit send, and you can either do an email, you can click a link, and then here's where you copy the QR, the link, copy that link, and then take that copied link over to QR Monkey or whatever you're using and create the QR code for that event. And it takes you then to that farm. So it actually really is fairly simple. So, and any questions you have on this you want to get with me later, please just contact me. I'll put my contact information in the chat. Any questions now?
Oh, it looks like you have a question, Nick, but you're on mute.
How's that?
Good.
Okay, in Eastside Union High School District, you know, the school has a thing, it's called Canvas. And all the students are on it and they could sign up and go through this. But the problem is that not very many students use Canvas. And I was just wondering, is that situation in your area, or just because you tell them they're in Interact, they're able to access it and they know when to access it?
So we use Canvas for our classes, but we don't use Canvas at all for Interact. And it looks like the breakout rooms are going to close very soon, in 30 seconds. Does that answer your question?
Oh, kind of, but I'll look you up and.
Okay. Yeah, please don't hesitate to ask. I put my email in the chat, and
You're not in East Side though, are you?
No, but we do use Canvas at my school.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Well, it looks like we're gonna. Oh.